discover possibilities. Software testing principle. This is important to achieve optimum test results without deviating from the goal. To determine that you are following the right strategy for testing, then stick to some basic testing principles. And here are the common 7 testing principles that are widely practiced in the software industry. Testing principle number 1. Testing shows the presence of defects. Before any software product is released for production, and after a sufficient amount of testing participated by the team of developer and client, or passes through different phases like system integration testing, user acceptance testing, and beta testing, etc. The testing team confirms that the software meets all business requirements and is functioning as per the needs of the end user. In the software testing industry, no one will say that the software is 100% defect-free. This is quite true, as testing cannot prove that software is error-free or defect-free. And for the example of number 1, consider a hand wash advertisement which says on the television that 99% germs can be removed if that specific hand wash is used. This clearly proves that the product is not 100% germ-free. Thus, in our testing concept, we can say that no software is defect-free. For number 2 software testing principles, early testing. And as for early testing example, let's begin with the question, how early should the testing start? Once the requirements are finalized, the testers need to involve for testing. Testing should be performed on requirement documents, a specification, or any other type of document so that if requirements are incorrectly defined, then it can be fixed immediately rather than fixing them in the development phase. Software testing principle number 3, exhaustive testing is not possible. And for each application, we have this example. Suppose we have an input field which accepts alphabets, special characters, and numbers from 0 to 1000 only. Imagine how many combinations would appear for testing. It is not possible to test all combination for its input type. The testing efforts required to test will be huge, and it will also impact the project timeline and cost. Hence, it is always said that exhaustive testing is practically not possible. And for the number 4, under the software testing principle, testing is context dependent. And for number 4 example, testing a banking application is different than testing any e-commerce or advertising application. The risk associated with each type of application is different. Thus, it is not effective to use the same method, technique, and testing type to test all types of application. For number 5 under the software testing principle, defect clustering. Under the defect clustering, the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, is an aphorism which asserts that 80% of outcomes or outputs result from 20% of all causes or inputs for any given event. So number 6 of the software testing principle, the pesticide paradox. And for the number 7, the absence of error. For number 7 example, suppose the application is related to an e-commerce site and the requirement against shopping cart or shopping basket functionality which is wrongly interpreted and tested. Here, even finding more defects does not help to move the application into make the next phase or in the production environment. So as a conclusion, software testing in SDLC is very important to verify if the software is working as per end user needs or not. Because testing identifies as much defect as possible. Hence, in order to perform testing effectively and efficiently, everyone should be aware and indeed understand the 7 principles of software testing clearly and are known as the pillars for testing. Most of the testers have implemented and experienced these principles during the actual testing. And generally, the term principle means the rules or rules that need to be followed. Hence, everyone in the software testing industry must follow these 7 principles. And if anyone ignores any of these principles, then it may cause huge to the project.